here we are. We both lost our cameras.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Can you not see me? I can still see me.
No, but no. Just kidding. Oh, wait, we lost Gary. There he goes.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh boy. Yeah. So we're live again, and you might be able to see more of this dirty room here. I have my ice cold brew from Starbucks.
Oh dear, I can't see you at all. So
that's right.
You could be doing anything, man.
You look sick there, Gary. You got to get out of the snow.
I know.
Oh,
I know. Excuse me. Yeah, I got to apologise. I'm full of a cold.
I actually have some Girl Scout cookies.
Nice. Did you rob them for them?
No, it was from work actually. A guy was. I can't get this to. God bless you.
Thank you.
The guy had them, and I bought them out. Not all of them. I did $20.
Oh, okay. I love that a lot.
So you were saying on I don't even know how this is looking if you're double over here. Oh no, it's not. Okay. You were saying on Twitter that about the game you were playing?
Yeah, it's a game called Corpse Party. I don't know if any have you heard of it or have you played it before?
No, I haven't played that one.
It's pretty good. There's a few different versions of it. So the first one was probably released about 2016. Mm-hmm. It was released in Japan by actually earlier than that, 1996. The first one. It was released in Japan by a production company called Team Gris Gris, and then sort of ported over here. And it was made using RPG Maker, which is quite a well-known 2D role-play game creator that publishers use. And what sort of attracted to me at first was it's got like the cute manga characters. It's 2D because I really like 2D pixel art and things like that. But it was horror themed. Yeah. And it's about a bunch of school kids. They're staying behind in the classroom of their school, which is about to, I think it's about to close down, I want to say. Mm-hmm. But anyway, they're all sort of together in this school, and they find a charm. And a charm is a sheet of paper with something written on it, like a spell. Yeah. It's something from Japanese culture. The charms are genuine things. You sometimes find them in people's houses, particularly if someone's died there, to sort of ward away spirits and things like that. So in Japanese culture, they believe charms sort of either bring them luck or hold something back or keep you safe from something. Yeah. So anyway, they have this charm in this school, and but they're all sort of sat in a circle and telling like a typical story like you sometimes get with kids around a campfire. About the previous headmaster of the school and how he committed suicide, and how the school that used to stand on that exact spot before the new school was built was cursed. Mm-hmm. So anyway, long story short, they tell a story, and then one of them produces this charm and encourages them all to sort of tear a piece off it, and there's an earthquake. They sort of get knocked unconscious, and when they come around, they're stood in the old school that used to stand there years before. And there's a marked difference, from modern sort of walls to sort of everything's made out of wood and cobwebby, and it's like they're in a different dimension almost. And they've all been split up. So you start off as one of the characters, and you work your way around this old school, which was called Heavenly Hosts. I think it was called Heavenly Hosts Elementary School. And you wander around, and there's these ghosts that you come across. And part of the game is to either avoid them, outrun them, or sort of stop them somehow. Yeah. So, and you play a couple of different characters, and man, some of the potential sort of things that can happen. There's good endings and bad endings and stuff. When there's different ways you can die as well in it. Some of the stuff that can happen to you is pretty horrific, and you don't really see it coming because it is very cutesy, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, so his head's just been sliced off by a piece of cat wire, you know, or a piece of piano wire, and oh yeah, someone's just fallen down the stairs and got impaled.
Is it like that other game that you were playing?
What's it called? Karagawara? What to say? It's a predecessor to that, I suppose, in a way. It's as the first one is, as I say, 2D sort of pixel art graphics, but there are a number of sequels to Corpse Party as well. I'm just going to look up the name of that game I've been playing. Yumawari or something. Yumawari.
Yes, Yumawari until dawn or something.
Yumawari Night Alone it was called.
Okay.
Yumawari is like a more modern version of Corpse Party. It is slightly different.
Yeah.
Yumawari is you die and you sort of start from a save zone, and this is kind of similar, but when you die it affects the ending and things like that. It's a bit more sort of, as is the case with some of these older games, it can be quite difficult. But there was a follow-up to it called Corpse Party Blood Covered, which came out in 2008 over in Japan. Was not released in North America till 2016. I really want to play that one, actually. I've not had the chance to play it. But that was a much more sort of a different game engine. It was three-dimensional. You wander around the same school. It's a direct sequel to the first one, and you sort of finding clues to what happened to the guys out of the original Corpse Party.
Yeah.
But the one I have played on a PSP emulator is one called Corpse Party Book of Shadows. And what they did with that, they again, it's based in the same school, but they did a bit of it was more of a, how would I describe it? It's more of a sort of a book, sort of visual graphic novel with like multiple choices. A bit like the old Choose Your Adventure type things.
Oh yeah.
It's got an element of that to it. And again, there's some pretty horrific scenes, but what I didn't like about Book of Shadows was you don't get the sort of fun of looking down on your character and moving around. This really creepy school. It's like a lot of different screen grabs from a first-person perspective.
Yeah.
So forward. You sort of almost jerk you away. It's like some of the old-fashioned sort of dungeon crawling games where you sort of see a first person, but it's like 2D.
So wait, so it is a first person, sort of like Doom.
That one is, except it's how would I describe it? The original Corpse Party is a top-down. You're looking down on someone walking around. You use a control pad and you move left, right, up and down.
Like a Zelda type.
Yeah, avoiding this school filled with traps and stuff like that. But it's very sort of pixel art. Book of Shadows, which is one of the sequels, is first person, sort of first person view, but it's a visual novel. It's not. You're not. As you move forward, you're not sort of. You don't see the characters. You see what they see, and it's just static images. If you know what I mean, it's like nothing's moving. It's like you move forward and it's another static image. Then you turn left and it's another static image. So it's a bit disorientating.
Yeah.
But what I did was I was such a fan of the first game that they released one called Corpse Party 2 over in Japan, which is a direct sequel to it, but it's not related to the school. It's sort of set 5 years later, and it's set in a hospital. And I waited ages and ages and ages for localization. I bought the Japanese version of it, which was obviously all in Japanese, so I didn't understand a word of what people were saying and the clues that you were finding. And I ended up sort of buying a guide online, which was in English, and sort of walked you through it and told you what things said. And it takes a little bit of the fun out of it because it does literally direct you to where you need to go and things like that, because, you know, you need to do things in a certain order to get certain endings. But it's a three-dimensional top-down game, Corpse Party 2. The characters are three-dimensional. They're very sort of, is it chibi characters, you know, when they've got slightly big heads and a little smaller bodies. But again, you've got this sort of juxtaposition of very, very cute sort of characters with horrific things happening to them.
Yeah.
And just like the first Corpse Party game, the hospital is a horrific place. There's lots of weird things, like you'll come across like a blood stain in the floor, or a corner of a room that's just filled with, you know, like innards splattered up a wall, you know, and things like that. And there's no explanation as to what it is.
This is on Steam, right?
You can get it in a couple of different formats. I played the first two on a PSP emulator. But yeah, you can get some of them on Steam. Corpse Party 2 is unavailable over here at the moment. It's still only available in Japan. It has been that way for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've not ported it yet. But I kind of remember sort of playing it and using this guide through to completion, and the ending is horrific, man. But it's such a twist. It's absolutely fantastic, and you never see it coming. There's just stuff like that. I just think it's a fantastic game, and the atmosphere is brilliant. You know, it's all done like visuals, and you find letters, and you know, you pick up a letter and it'll be like a suicide note, and the story develops as you're walking through the school, and you start off with nothing, and you sort of, by the end, you understand what's happened to these kids, and same with the Corpse Party 2. At the end, you find out what's happening to the main character.
Yeah.
But it spawned in Japan a number of sort of animes. You can watch some of these animes for free on YouTube. They're readily available. A while ago, when I first sort of got into it, I found it really hard to get hold of the Corpse Party animes, especially in English. But I had to sort of download, you know, and try and find them from somewhere. But now you can literally look at them for free. I think it's either English dubbed or English subtitled on YouTube. And they're the same. It explains a story from the first game. The kids sort of telling these scary haunted house stories in this school, and then going back in time to the old school that used to stand on the same place. And it's gory, man. It's frightening. It's not something you'd watch with your kids.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I also believe that they in Japan they've got a movie as well called The Corpse Party, like a live action movie, which did quite well over there, but I don't think they've localized it. Hello?
Yeah, now it's loud again. I don't know what happened. Yeah. I put it on minimize, right?
Yeah.
And then it just hangs up the freaking call. And right. And then I put it back, and it goes low. But then when I totally went off and called you back, it went totally.
It sounded to me like something was shutting down, you know, or there was. I don't know. It sounded. You could hear like this do-do-do, do-do-do. You know, like something was running out of battery, or something was about to shut down, or you know, you could just hear like, yeah. I don't know if it's your camera or.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah. So it's really, really good, and I definitely recommend you give it a go. And you can even get it on mobile and stuff like that. You know, you can get it on your Android phone, and yeah, and on Steam. So
yeah, I might check that out. Yeah, just before we got on, I had a couple of Windows updates actually.
Right.
It knocked everything out of OBS again. At least I had the pictures. You know, I took the pictures. But yeah. Well, we're gonna start doing the weekly recordings. Yeah. Maybe I'll put some snow on mine too. It's going to actually snow today.
Yeah, we've been quite lucky. The weather went really nice for about a week, and it was warm, you know, to the point of me not needing a coat at all. And now it's just gotten really wet and drizzly and horrible. So,
yeah. All right, well, everybody, tune in tomorrow. Hopefully I can have it done by tonight. It's a lot of work, but maybe I'll make the first episode kind of small so I can get it done. Or if anything, towards the middle of the day. tomorrow and Wednesday and Friday. But you know, if anything, give us some feedback. I know it's still early and not too many people are watching, but you know, let us know what you like. If you like the bloopers at the end and the comic reel, I try to keep all that stuff at the end, so it's like serious in the beginning and more of a censor dog at the end. And whoa, my yawn. Yeah.
Oh gosh, full of a cold. But yeah.
Yeah.
And let us know if you play Corpse Party, what you think of it.
That too.
Yeah, because I really enjoyed playing it, and I'm really looking forward to playing the blood-covered one, which is the only one I've not played so far. I'm going to get it on. I don't think you can get it on Steam. I think you can only get it on Android or iOS. You have to pay like £30 for it. You know, it's quite expensive for a mobile game.
Yeah.
So I might have to somehow find another way of playing it, maybe on the PSP emulator or something, because I know it's out on that.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to put the ending, and we'll see you tomorrow.